Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Men are simple. I didn't say easy, I said simple. See, a man will try to act cool, try to play it off, try to act like he ain't paying you no mind. But when a man secretly likes you, oh, you gonna know. He can't hide it. It's written all over him. See, the eyes are a man's biggest weakness when it comes to hiding his true feelings. A man can rehearse his words, he can adjust his tone, he can even practice being nonchalant in front of you. But what he can't control, what he can't mask, what he can't disguise for long are his eyes. That's the first giveaway. The eyes are the windows to the soul. And when a man secretly likes you, those windows fly wide open whether he wants them to or not. Now imagine this, you walk into a room full of people, you ain't even made it all the way through the door yet, but his eyes, they already found you. Like a magnet, locked in. And here's the thing, you might not even notice it at first, because he'll try to play it cool. He'll glance away real quick, pretend he was looking somewhere else. But if you pay attention, you'll catch him, because a man who likes you is going to check for you constantly. He don't even realize he's doing it half the time. It's like his eyes are on autopilot. No matter where you go, no matter what you're doing, his vision will drift right back to you. That's instinct. That's attraction. That's interest he can't cover up. Now let me break it down even further. There are different types of looks a man gives when he secretly likes you. The first one is that admiration look. You know the one. He's not saying anything, but he's looking at you like you just walked out of his favorite dream. His eyebrows relax, his eyes soften, and you can almost feel the warmth coming from across the room. That's not just looking. That's appreciating. He's not just noticing you, he's studying you. He's memorizing the way you laugh, the way your hair falls, the way you tilt your head when you're listening to somebody. That's a man silently soaking you in. Then there's the quick glance and look away. This one is classic. You'll catch him peeking at you. And the second your eyes meet, boom, he snaps his head another direction like he was never looking at all. But you know the truth. If you catch it once, it could be a coincidence. If you catch it twice, that's intentional. And if you catch it 3 times in the same evening, baby, that man is into you. He can't help but steal looks because being around you sparks his curiosity and his attraction all at once. Next, we got the long stare. Now, this one is different because sometimes a man won't look away. He'll just sit there, locked in, holding his gaze like he doesn't even care if you notice. That's boldness mixed with interest. He might not say what he's thinking out loud, but that stare is saying everything. It's saying, I see you, I like you, and I want you to know I'm watching. Some men will back down if you hold eye contact too long, but the ones that don't, they're making a statement without opening their mouths. And let's not forget the eyes followed by a smile. When a man secretly likes you, he can't keep that little grin off his face when your eyes meet. It's like his face betrays him. He'll try to look composed. He'll try to keep it serious, but his mouth curves before his brain even gives permission. That smile is his way of saying, you just made my day, without actually speaking. And ladies, you got to understand, men don't smile like that for everybody. That soft, almost boyish grin is reserved for the one who's caught his attention in a real way. Another thing you'll notice is that he watches you even when you're not doing anything special. See, if a man only looks at you when you're dressed up, that's one thing. But when a man secretly likes you, he'll be watching you tie your hair up, sipping your drink, scrolling your phone, even just standing in line. He admires you in moments you don't think are worth admiring, because to him, everything about you is interesting. He's fascinated by the little details, and his eyes will betray that over and over again. Pay attention when you're in group settings. A man who secretly likes you will constantly glance in your direction, even when somebody else is speaking. Let's say you're both at a party, somebody's telling a big joke. The whole room is laughing. Watch who he looks at first. He'll laugh, but immediately his eyes are darting over to you, checking if you're laughing too, checking if you're enjoying yourself. That's because your reaction matters more to him than anybody else's. He wants to share the moment with you, even without words. That's how you know he's invested. Now, sometimes men try to overcompensate. They'll act like they're deliberately not looking at you, but that's just another sign. He might be facing the other direction, pretending to be busy, but somehow he still knows what you're doing. Why? Because he's watching you out of the corner of his eye. He's pretending not to notice, but he sees you. Trust me. If a man secretly likes you, he's not blind to your presence. You change the energy in the room for him, and his eyes will find a way to keep tabs on you, even from the side. And here's a subtle one, pupil dilation. When a man is attracted to you, his pupils literally get bigger when he looks at you. That's science, that's biology, that's his body betraying him again. He can't control that. So if you're ever close enough, look into his eyes and see if they widen when you're talking to him. That right there is raw physical attraction shining through. Then there's the protective eye. When a man likes you, his eyes don't just show admiration. They start scanning your environment. He'll notice who's talking to you, how close somebody is standing, what's happening around you. He's alert because he cares in a way that makes him attentive. That doesn't mean he's controlling. It just means his interest makes him more aware of your surroundings because in his mind you're important enough to guard. Now, ladies, don't get it twisted. Not every man who glances your way likes you. Some men look at everybody, but when it's consistent, when his eyes linger a little longer than they should, when he keeps returning to you no matter how many people are around, that's the difference. Consistency is the key. Men are not subtle creatures when it comes to what they want. Even when they think they're hiding it, their eyes will expose them every single time. You ever seen a man in conversation, but his eyes betray his focus? He's talking to his friend, but mid-sentence he glances at you walking across the room. He picks the conversation back up, but his gaze shifts again when you laugh at something. He might not stop what he's doing, but his attention is split and his eyes reveal where his real interest lies. That's not coincidence. That's attraction leaking out in real time. Another big clue, when he looks at you differently than everyone else. He might be friendly with a lot of people. He might talk and laugh with everyone in the room, but when it comes to you, his eyes soften, his gaze lingers longer, his attention sharpens. That's the distinction. A man doesn't look at a woman. He secretly likes the same way he looks at anyone else. There's a depth, a warmth, a focus that you'll feel if you pay close attention. Even when he's trying to hold back, you can still tell. You'll notice that he avoids prolonged eye contact because he doesn't want to give himself away. But the fact that he's avoiding it too much, that's a giveaway in itself. If he likes you, he knows eye contact will expose him, so he'll look just enough, but not too long, almost like he's fighting with himself. That hesitation, that's another sign. And when he does look at you directly, you'll see a flicker of vulnerability. A man can act tough, confident, unbothered, but when his eyes meet yours and he likes you, there's a flash of softness. That's him being real in a way he doesn't show just anybody. His eyes open a window into his feelings before his pride has time to shut it. See, ladies and gentlemen, the truth is this: men's eyes don't lie. They'll lie with their mouths. They'll lie with their swagger. They'll even lie with their social media. But those eyes, they're the most honest part of the whole story. You just got to be observant enough to read them, because if he secretly likes you, his eyes will keep on telling the truth whether he likes it or not. When a man secretly likes you, one of the biggest clues you'll notice is that he remembers the little details. And I'm not just talking about the obvious things like your birthday or the color of your dress when you first met. I'm talking about the tiny throwaway things that you didn't even think twice about when you said them. See, most men, when they're not emotionally invested, they listen on the surface. Words go in one ear and out the other because they're not attached. But when a man likes you, suddenly he's got a memory like a vault. Things you forgot you even mentioned will pop right back up, and it'll surprise you every time. Picture this. You casually tell him one day that you had a rough morning because you spilled coffee on yourself. A week later, he cracks a little joke about keeping you away from hot drinks. You didn't even think he was paying attention that day, but he logged it in his mind. Or maybe you mentioned months ago that your favorite flower is sunflowers. And then out of nowhere, he shows up one day with a little bouquet of sunflowers, not roses, not lilies, not some random flower from the grocery store, but exactly what you said you liked. That's not coincidence. That's deliberate. That's him showing you, I heard you. I caught it. I stored it. Now, here's the thing. Most men don't naturally do this. Men aren't usually wired to hold on to every little detail of daily conversations, especially ones that don't directly affect them. But attraction changes the game. When he likes you, suddenly your words mean something to him. Your stories matter. Your preferences stick. He's not just listening to respond, he's listening to connect. And he'll replay those details in his head because they're tied to you. You'll also notice it in the way he brings things up later. You might say one day, man, I've been craving Thai food lately. And 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, I know this great Thai spot we should check out. You probably forgot you even said it, but he didn't, because when a man secretly likes you, your casual comments become cues for him to create opportunities. It's his way of sliding closer into your life without being too obvious. Another example, let's say you're talking about your childhood and you mention your favorite cartoon or a game you loved. Don't be surprised if he references it later in a joke or even sends you a meme about it. That's him weaving your past into his present conversations. That's not random. That's targeted interest. A man who likes you will always circle back to the things that made you light up because he's trying to create more of those moments with you. And pay attention to how he remembers your schedule. You might mention in passing that you've got a big presentation at work, and he'll text you that morning just to say, good luck today. Or you said last week that you've got a doctor's appointment, and he'll ask later how it went. That's not typical casual behavior. That's a man actively keeping track of your life because your well-being matters to him. And believe me, men don't go out of their way to keep tabs like that unless they care. Here's another layer to it, the emotional details. You might vent one day about how you don't like when people talk over you. Later on, you'll notice he makes space for you in conversations or even call people out if they interrupt you. That's him remembering not just your words, but your feelings. That's him showing you that he took your emotions seriously enough to adjust his behavior. That's powerful. That's intentional. He'll even remember the smallest preferences, the way you take your coffee, what toppings you don't like on your pizza, the brand of perfume you wear, the fact that you don't like spicy food. And the crazy part, he might pretend it's no big deal, like he just guessed. Right. But don't be fooled. He didn't guess. He listened. He remembered. He made sure to store that data because it's connected to you. Think about how many conversations you have in a day. People say all kinds of stuff around us, and most of it doesn't stick. But when it comes to you, a man who secretly likes you is filtering your words differently. He's saving them like files on a computer. That's why he can recall things you said months ago with crystal clarity. That's why he'll reference something you thought was forgotten. It's because to him, your words are valuable, and holding on to them keeps him close to you in a way you might not even realize. And don't overlook how he remembers the way you react to things. If you laughed hard at a certain story, he'll tell it again just to see that same laugh. If you smiled when he complimented you a certain way, he'll use that line again because he knows it worked. Men are simple creatures. They repeat what gets a good result. But if he's paying attention to what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable, what makes you light up, that's deeper than just trying to impress you. That's him saying, I like you enough to study you. You might also notice that he remembers things you never even asked him to remember. Like, you could be talking about how your cousin just had a baby, and the next time you see him, he asks, how's your cousin's baby doing? That's next level attentiveness, because it's not about him. It's not about his life. It's about yours. And when a man takes the kind of initiative, you know his interest runs deeper than casual. It also shows up when he tries to use those details to make your life easier. You said once that you hate carrying heavy grocery bags. Suddenly, he's the one grabbing them before you even ask. You mentioned you like a certain snack. He just happens to bring it over. These aren't random acts. These are premeditated actions based on the fact that he was listening closely and remembering everything. And don't think men don't enjoy this process. When a man likes you, he takes pride in remembering. It's his way of separating himself from everybody else. Because here's the truth. Most people forget. Most people overlook. Most people don't pay that much attention. But him, he's setting himself apart by showing you he values even the little pieces of you. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Sometimes he'll test the waters to see if you notice that he remembers. He'll drop a little line like, didn't you say you liked that show? Or, wasn't your mom's birthday last week? He's not just making conversation. He's checking to see if you realize how much he's paying attention. He wants you to know, without outright saying it, that he's invested enough to keep track. Even his sense of humor will use those details. He'll tease you about something you said weeks ago, not in a mean way, but in a playful way that proves he was listening. It might be something as small as the way you mispronounced a word or how you admitted you can't cook rice without burning it. He'll hold on to that, not to embarrass you, but because it gives him unique connection to you that nobody else has. What's even more telling is that he remembers not just what you like, but what you don't like. You said once that you can't stand country music. He'll joke about changing the radio station when you're in the car. You said you hate pineapple on pizza. He'll make sure that when you're sharing a meal, pineapple is nowhere in sight. That's not random. That's consideration born from memory, fueled by interest. So when a man secretly likes you, the details aren't just details anymore. They become his way of building bridges toward you. He listens differently. He stores information differently. He uses it strategically to show you, without announcing it, that you matter to him. Because the truth is, remembering the little things isn't natural for most men. But for the right woman, suddenly it becomes effortless. When a man secretly likes you, one of the most obvious things you'll notice is that he finds excuses to be around you. And I don't mean just bumping into you every now and then. I mean, he will literally rearrange his schedule, invent reasons, and create opportunities just to be in your presence. See, men are hunters by nature. When something matters to them, they pursue it. They may not always come out and say it directly, but their actions will reveal their intentions. And when he secretly likes you, being near you becomes his silent goal. Think about it like this. You might notice that he shows up in places you never expected him to be. Suddenly, he's at that coffee shop you go to every morning, and he says something like, "Oh, I just happened to be around here." But you know good and well that man lives 30 minutes away. That's not a coincidence. That's strategy disguised as accident. He wanted to be where you are, and he made sure it happened without making it too obvious. Sometimes the excuses are small. He'll ask you for help with something he probably doesn't even need help with. Maybe it's advice about work. Maybe it's a question about music. Maybe he pretends he doesn't understand how to do something simple like send a file or pick a gift. But the truth is, he doesn't care about the task itself. He just wanted a reason to reach out to you, to pull you into his world for a few minutes, to have that moment of connection. Other times, the excuses get bigger. He'll find ways to include himself in your plans, even if it doesn't make much sense. You mentioned you're going to a farmer's market. Next thing you know, he's saying, "Oh, really? I've been wanting to check that place out." You talk about needing to shop for a new couch. Suddenly, he knows the perfect store and offers to tag along. It's not about couches or vegetables. It's about time with you. It's about creating shared experiences that build a stronger bond, all under the cover of casual coincidence. Watch how he responds when you need something. You say, "My car is acting up," and before you can blink, he's offering to take a look at it or drive you somewhere. You mention you're moving apartments, and suddenly he's free that weekend to help carry boxes. A man who secretly likes you will jump at the chance to be useful because it gives him permission to be close to you. Men express their affection through action, and finding excuses to help you is his way of saying, "I care," without having to put it into words. Another sign is how often he pops up in your conversations. You'll notice he texts you about random little things, memes, a song he heard, something he saw that reminded him of you. He doesn't really need to tell you any of that. But he's looking for reasons to start a dialogue, reasons to make sure he's on your radar. Men don't waste energy on people they're not interested in. If he's consistently finding ways to connect, even in the smallest ways, that's his attraction leaking out. Sometimes the excuses aren't even logical. He'll say, "I was just wondering if you've seen this movie," or "Do you know any good places to get tacos?" Questions he could have Googled in 2 seconds. But no, he's asking you because the question isn't the point. The point is to have a reason to hear your voice, to see your name pop up on his phone, to extend the interaction just a little longer. And you'll notice he doesn't do this with everyone. This kind of effort is selective. If you compare the way he interacts with others to the way he interacts with you, the difference will be obvious. With others, he might be friendly, but he's not chasing opportunities. With you, he's intentionally inserting himself into your orbit, making sure he has a presence in your daily life. Now think about group settings. A man who secretly likes you will find excuses to sit near you, stand next to you, or somehow position himself close. He may not announce it, but his body will move in your direction naturally. You'll see it at dinners, at parties, at work events. He'll gravitate toward your side of the room, maybe even volunteer for tasks that put him near you. He frames it as teamwork. But what he's really doing is using the group as cover to be exactly where he wants to be, right next to you. Another common thing is how he stretches conversations. You might say something as simple as, I need to run and grab groceries. And instead of letting the chat end, he says, oh, what do you usually buy? Or, what store do you go to? He adds layers, not because he cares that much about your shopping list, but because he doesn't want the interaction to be over yet. He's squeezing every drop of time he can get, and he'll drag it out in the most casual ways possible. Sometimes you'll see him using mutual friends as bridges. He'll ask your friend about you, or he'll find out where you're hanging out through someone else, and then suddenly show up. It's all framed as coincidence. But if you step back, you'll see the pattern. He's maneuvering himself into your world carefully, consistently, because he doesn't want to risk being too obvious, but he also doesn't want to miss an opportunity. And when he's around you, notice how he behaves differently. He'll linger a little longer after everyone else has left. He'll offer to walk you to your car. He'll suggest grabbing food after a group event, just the two of you. Those are not random moments. Those are calculated chances to extend his time with you. A man who isn't interested will take the quickest exit. A man who secretly likes you will delay his departure, because every extra minute counts. You'll also notice he volunteers himself for things that give him access to you. If you mention you need to fix something around the house, he'll say he's good with tools. If you talk about wanting to learn a hobby, suddenly that's something he's into too. He molds his availability around your needs and interests because it keeps him close. He doesn't always have to be loud about it. Sometimes it's subtle, but if you're paying attention, you'll see the effort behind it. Even in digital spaces, this shows up. He'll like your post faster than anyone else or comment in ways that spark conversation. He'll send a DM about something small just to keep that line of communication open. And if you check the timing, it's often late at night or early in the morning, those hours when he's thinking about you and can't resist finding a reason to reach out. And let's be real, sometimes the excuses don't even make sense. He'll say, I was just in the area, when he clearly wasn't. Or he'll pop up with, I was thinking about grabbing dinner and thought you might want to join. These aren't coincidences, they're orchestrations. He's creating opportunities out of thin air because he doesn't want to leave it up to chance. What makes it even clearer is the consistency. Once might be coincidence, twice could be timing, but when a man repeatedly finds ways to show up, to text, to help, to call, to be near, it's deliberate. That's the pattern you can't ignore, because men are creatures of habit, and when his habit becomes finding you, you know exactly what's going on beneath the surface. And sometimes his friends will give it away too. They'll tease him for always hanging around you, or they'll accidentally mention that he went out of his way to be where you were. Because when a man's making excuses just to be close, it doesn't go unnoticed. People around him see it, even if he's trying to downplay it. So when you see him creating reasons, big or small, to connect with you, understand what's really happening. He might not be ready to say it out loud, but his actions are speaking for him. He's finding excuses because to him, you're worth the effort, and every excuse is just another way of being closer without having to confess what his heart already knows. ChatGPT said, when a man secretly likes you, one of the strongest signs you'll see is that his actions speak louder than his words. A man can say anything with his mouth, and plenty of men do. They can talk smooth. They can say all the right lines. They can even make promises that sound good in the moment. But when he really feels something for you, when his interest is more than just surface level, it's going to show up in what he does, not just what he says. Men are not as complicated as they try to seem. When they like you, their actions will always reveal the truth they're trying to keep under wraps. Think about the way he shows up. If he secretly likes you, he will find ways to be consistent in your life. That means he calls when he says he'll call. He texts when he says he'll text. And he follows through on the little things most people let slide. He's not making big speeches about being dependable. He's just proving it through his behavior. And that's the thing. When a man wants you, his words might slip, but his consistency will tell on him. Another action that gives him away is how he treats your time. A man who doesn't care will be careless with your schedule, showing up late, canceling at the last minute, acting like your availability is just a side note. But a man who secretly likes you will respect your time. He'll make sure to be there when he says he will, and he'll even adjust his plans to fit yours. That's not just about being polite. That's interest disguised as courtesy. He values being with you enough to prioritize you over convenience. Look at how he tries to make life easier for you. If he sees you struggling with something, carrying heavy bags, figuring out a problem at work, or even just looking stressed, he'll step in without you having to ask. That's a man whose feelings are showing through his actions. He might not be ready to announce, "I like you," but he's already demonstrating care through how quickly he responds to your needs. Men are problem solvers by instinct, and when they like someone, they become invested in fixing whatever they can for that person. Pay attention to how protective he gets. If you're walking together and he shifts to the side of the street with more traffic, that's an action. If he notices someone making you uncomfortable and he steps in closer, that's an action. If you're at an event and he keeps checking if you're okay, or if you need something to drink, that's not just good manners. That's attraction slipping out in the form of protection. Men don't protect what they don't value. And when he secretly likes you, you'll see it in the subtle ways he makes sure you're safe, comfortable, and looked after. Even the way he communicates will show it. He might not always say long, flowery things, but notice how quickly he responds to you. Notice how he pays attention when you're talking, how he puts his phone down to listen, how he engages in the conversation instead of letting it drift. Those are actions. And they speak louder than any line he could deliver. Because interest isn't just about what he says, it's about the energy he invests in being fully present with you. Another thing to watch is effort. Effort is a man's love language, even when he doesn't call it that. If he secretly likes you, he'll go out of his way to do things that require more of him than he'd normally give. He'll drive farther, spend longer, put in extra thought because to him, you're worth it. A man doesn't make effort for someone he's indifferent about. He only invests when his feelings are pulling him in that direction. Look closely at the sacrifices he makes. You might notice he'll stay up late talking to you, even though he has to be up early the next morning. He'll skip something he had planned because you need him. He'll spend time on tasks that don't benefit him at all, but benefit you. Those little sacrifices are actions that reveal his priority. He may never say outright, "I like you so much I'm willing to put you first." But the way he rearranges his life for you is already saying it loud and clear. You'll also notice actions in the way he pays attention to your happiness. If he likes you, he'll go out of his way to make you smile. That could mean telling jokes, sending you funny clips, planning something he knows you'd enjoy, or even just doing small favors to brighten your day. Those aren't empty gestures. They're his way of giving without demanding anything back. He's not just saying, "I want you happy." He's actively doing things to make sure you are. Look at how he treats your circle, too. A man who secretly likes you will respect the people important to you. He'll be kind to your friends, polite to your family, and thoughtful about the things connected to your world. That's an action that speaks louder than sweet words. Because he knows winning you over isn't just about how he treats you. It's about how he integrates with the people you care about. That's a deeper level of intention. And it reveals itself in how he carries himself around your inner circle. Even in silence, his actions speak. For example, if he remembers to check in on you after a tough day, that's an action. If he shows up when he knows you're down, that's an action. If he remembers something small you said in passing and brings it back later, that's an action. It's not about him telling you, "I was listening." It's about the fact that you can see he was listening through what he does next. And actions aren't always grand gestures. Sometimes they're quiet, consistent habits, like always making sure you get home safe, like holding doors, pulling out chairs, offering you his jacket when it's cold. Some women dismiss those as just manners, but don't underestimate them. When a man repeatedly shows those small courtesies specifically for you, it's not just manners, it's interest. It's him showing you in 100 little ways that you matter, even if he's not ready to voice it. Now let's talk about reliability. Words are easy, but reliability is hard. A man who secretly likes you will make sure you can count on him. If you call, he answers. If you need backup, he's there. He doesn't disappear when things get inconvenient. He's present when it matters. And that's how you know, because men only commit that kind of reliability to people they genuinely value. Another action you'll notice is how he supports your goals. You mention a dream or a project you're working on, and he's encouraging you, asking questions, maybe even offering to help. He doesn't just cheer you on from the sidelines. He shows you through his actions that he believes in what you're doing. That's not just friendly interest, that's deeper. That's his affection moving him to actively be part of your success. And don't miss the physical cues. A man who likes you may not say it, but his actions will betray it in how he positions himself. He'll lean in when you talk. He'll mirror your movements. He'll find excuses for small touches, a hand on your back, brushing your arm, high fives that linger just a little too long. Those are physical actions speaking louder than anything he could put into words. Consistency is the real key. Any man can do one nice thing. Any man can say the right line once or twice, but when his actions line up over time, when he shows care, effort, reliability, and presence again and again, that's when you know the truth. Because a man who secretly likes you might hold his tongue, but his behavior will shout what his lips won't say.